everybody. This is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo, and I am in my studio today at my sewing machine because we're going to talk a little bit more about masks. And I'm going to give you some details on some do's and don'ts when you're making them. Anyway, stay tuned. So, not long ago, I posted a podcast that my sister and I did about masks and about how one size does not fit all. And I would like to elaborate on that a little bit more and then show you a deconstructed mask and some ideas on materials that you can use. Because right now, materials are very hard to get. Fabric, elastic, interfacing, and even thread. I cannot believe how hard things are to get. But anyway, a lot of this stuff we have around the house. Most of us do anyway. First thing, though, I want to talk about is the sizing of the mask. We're all constructed different. Some of us have wide faces. Some of us have little teeny narrow faces. And that doesn't mean necessarily that we're fat or we're skinny, because I know people who are very thin who have more of a square jaw. And so they tend to need a different mask than somebody that's maybe got kind of a skinny jaw like I do. And believe me, the rest of my body is not thin. Anyway, but let me show you what I have here first. I have a mask that I'm working on. I've just put in the elastic and I'm getting ready to turn it. But I wanted to show you what it looks like on the inside. There was a lady who ordered 2 of my flamingo masks. These are my most popular masks. I've noticed I've got a lot of people that have them in their cart right now, like 16 or maybe up to 18 now. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have enough to make 18, but I do have enough to make a few more. But anyway, so what I do is I pick out 2 different types of fabric. This is very important that we do, because when you wear these, you're going to have, one on your face side and one on the outside. And so if for some reason you have to take it off and put it back on before you can go home and wash it, you want to make sure that you're not putting that dirty side directly onto your face. And that's why we have 2-sided. Plus the fact, some of them, like, let me show you these, they have 2 different sides. If you wanted to wear this one day, you go home and wash it. The next day, say you're going to be wearing red and you want to wear this side. So there's a couple of reasons for having 2 sides. But anyway, so I pick 2 different fabrics and then I pick some interfacing. Let me see. Do I have any? And it's non-woven and it is iron-on. And let me show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. It's soft on one side and bumpy on the other. The bumpy is where you lay it down on the fabric and you iron it. And there's instructions on how to do that. Most interfacing is the same, but every once in a while they have a little bit of different instructions. But anyway, why do I put the interfacing in? Non-woven is because it acts as a filter, and it's very important to have a filter. So our masks are 3 layers. You got your one side, the other side, and then the interfacing, the non-woven interfacing. And then we use, let me turn this. By the way, when you make these, you need to make sure you iron between each step. You clip all your seams so you don't have a lot of bulk. Elastic around the ears is what we use. We use a 1/4 inch elastic. If you go much wider than this, it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. All right, let me address the elastic. And this is where the sizing comes into play. Because some of us have like a wider face, and like I said, this doesn't necessarily mean you're fat. So let's just get that straight. It's just the construction of your face. Sometimes these may be a little tight. So what I have been doing lately on my masks is I've been cutting these a little bit bigger. I had been cutting them bigger and they were too big. So then I cut them down a little bit and I've had a couple of people complain about them being too small. So I went back up to the larger size only because it's easier to fix something that's too big than it is to fix something that's too small. But just keep that in mind. And it's just not my masks, it's all the masks out there. Any of them that you're going to buy, there could be a possibility for you to have issues with the size. This is why it's very important to read the all the little blurb in the description, because they'll have a size chart in there. Sometimes they have it in the pictures. I actually have it in my description. And if you have any questions, just contact the seller and they can give you the size and dimensions. But anyway, that's very important that you do that. Let's go back to the materials to be used. Sometimes, it's really hard to get fabric right now. I have heard of people who cannot get material, it just blows my mind. There's a lot of things out there we can't get. But we have a lot of things in the house that we could use. How many of you have bandanas? Just use some bandanas. I used 2 different kinds of bandanas on this one. And even though the fabric is not as high quality as, say something like this that I'm using with a higher quality fabric, when you use the interfacing, it really helps a lot. So you can go with the lower quality fabric, which when I say lower quality, that means it's just a smaller thread count. So the thread count's not as tight in something like this as it is in something like this. Something else you can use are old sheets. I know I have a ton of old sheets that I kept back from when our kids were here. And the elastic in them were kind of shot, but the fabric themselves in the fitted sheets are in very good condition. And I hated to throw them out, so I have put them in my fabric stash. And they work really good because a lot of the sheets have a very high thread count. And so they make excellent fabric to use with your masks. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to touch a few things on mask making. I didn't really want to get into how to do it exactly. I actually have a video that I kind of showed a little bit of how to do it. But my recommendation is do what my sister and I did. Just go and spend the day on YouTube looking at all the different videos and then trying to put together what works best for you, because we're at all different sewing levels. I'll be honest with you, I consider myself a beginner. I can do this. Maybe I'm a advanced beginner, but I'm still pretty much a beginner. And so that's why it's really difficult for me to actually go into the tutorial about it, because I'm not really that confident in telling you how to do it. Plus the fact, video-wise, I'm not really set up to do that. So go check out those good videos, put together what works best for you. Use, fabric that you have. Make sure you use the proper materials. Oh, I did mean to address one other thing. Some people like to use socks or crochet or even t-shirts to cut into masks. And even though this is better than nothing, it's not much better than nothing. And let me tell you why. Back to the thread count again. Anything that's knitted that has stretch to it, like a t-shirt, socks, and particularly crochet, they have holes in them. They have, they're not, the weave is not tight, and that's what allows the stretch. And people say, well, you can put a filter. And that's true, you can. But it's still, you'd have to have the filter in the whole part of the mask. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, if that's all you have, go for it. But if you have other options, I would try to go with the other options. Anyway, I hope this helps. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and most of all, have a wonderful day. This is Terry Jeanette with this Tapping Flamingo signing out for now. Bye-bye.